Hi friends, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Tiny Tuesdays. Tiny Tuesdays is going to be a new feature here on the channel. We'll focus on building tiny homes here. There is a stuff pack in The Sims 4 called Tiny Living. It comes with some crazy bonuses based on the number of tiles used. You'll see in this shot here we've got say, was that 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles going across, and probably another. So I can't remember. I can't count them up that quickly here. But long story short, it's based on the number of those little teeny tiny squares that you see in there. So, just as a quick disclaimer, we won't always build true tile count tiny homes using that pack, but some homes will just be small. If you want to learn more about tiny living, please go to the community tab on my YouTube channel and you can see the pack highlight. I've got one out there right now for tiny living. Thought that one would be helpful. So today we are building a tier 3 tiny home in the world of Strangerville. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the lot name for this particular home. You can see it in the upper corner there. If you can't read it, it's just across the street from the Strangerville bar. As mentioned, this is a tier 3 tiny home, and with tier 3 tiny homes, you get bonuses for lowering your household bill, and you get positive moodlets like happy, inspired, and focused. Those types of moodlets will double in duration. So if if you're going to have a happy moodlet for like an hour, you'll actually get it for 2 hours. So it works in your benefit to have it. Strangerville is a rural desert town with some Area 51 feels. Strange weather, strange townies, strange plants live in this world. So be prepared for the strange. It's probably one of my favorite worlds, especially for desert. You'll see there's a lot of fun color going around. The grass has the little flowers in it, and you've got some nice little orange tones. And like I said, it's just a little different, and I really enjoy that. It's one of my favorite packs to play. It can be a little one-dimensional if you're truly only interested in doing the playthrough of the game. But I don't always play that way in this world. I have played through this pack several times. No worries, there are no spoilers in this build. If you haven't already played through this game, the surprises will not be destroyed for you. There's no spoilers at all. I have also come here on side quests, so I may be playing in another world and wanted my sim to explore something new in this really kind of cool world. And so we came here to do that. And I've seen other folks play the 100 Baby Challenge here, and I've also seen the Every Lot Challenge played in this world as well. And in all honesty, it's a great world to play in. In this build, I was attempting to maintain the shotgun style of home where you can enter through a front door and you can walk down a front hall straight to the back door. This is a pretty common old style of home here in the U.S., especially the southeastern United States. It was favored because it was great for airflow in the hot summers, great for the time before air conditioning was available. Trying to build this home in the shotgun style is rather difficult if you're going to maintain that tile count of 100 tiles, which I was attempting to do. I opted for some smaller bedrooms and a nicer porch and patio. So I do go through and change some things up here just as I'm going through because I want to get some of the colors kind of switched around and just make it a little bit lighter and brighter. I do stick with some of the basics that you see on the walls here. Yeah, that's just a standard builder gray that you would find in a regular house. But I like it that way. Um, I will start placing down some furniture here in a few moments. It's really more for a just sort of placement furniture at first, but I later just end up deciding that that furniture works really nicely here. Starting here in the kitchen, things go really well here. I really do like this particular layout, and I do stick with it. All the furniture here is pretty much base game that's going in, and with it being base game, there's really only a few items that are really either Strangerville or Tiny Living. So if you don't have those two packs, don't worry about it. You can place this house wherever you want. It'll just be missing those particular items. I believe that for Tiny Living, I want to say it's just a little wall decor piece that's used. And for Strangerville, I know we use the listening station, and I believe there's a rug that is also used. Everything else is base game. So that will make it a little bit easier for you. For anybody who gets really particular, that pendant light that's kind of over by the refrigerator, I totally space on moving that because that's where I was originally intending for the dining room table to be. And of course, I goofed and forgot and moved the table someplace else. And well, yeah, it's not where I had intended, but it's fine. It's fine. We can always move it. You know, when you're playing for yourself, you can move it if it bugs you. It's not uncommon to have weird things like that happen in real life too. So, not that big of a problem there. You did see me earlier. I scooted that bedroom, that orangey kind of colored bedroom. I scooted that wall back a little bit because I wanted more space for the dining area, and I'll actually end up moving it again. It stays about in that space, but it, like I said, it's going to get adjusted just a smidgen, just for the sole purpose of being able to have enough space so that the chairs can all fit in. I'm trying right now to find some chairs that I like. And we end up with a 3-seater table here. So as with all my builds, I do try to keep my clutter at an absolute minimum. The clutter is awesome. There are some great builders out there who do some amazing clutter, and they use the tool mod and the red shelf, and they just do some really cool things and cool placement of all this clutter, and they make it feel so rich and lived in. And if you're hearing that noise in the background, one of my doggos just came in from being outside. So we're having some lovely fall weather here today. We're in officially into false fall. So it's what fools us Southerners to think that we're actually in fall. But we'll have another round of heat before too much longer. But back to the build. Clutter. That's where we were. Clutter. We do have, clutter does limit your Sims, and sometimes can slow down your game. If you have an older PC and one of your favorite builders loves to do a heavy clutter, get rid of some of that clutter and your performance of your game will probably improve a great deal. Doesn't always fix the problem, but it's really weird. It's sometimes you'll have a computer sitting on a desk and there'll be clutter on the desk that is actually slotted where it's supposed to slot. Nothing special was used, but for whatever reason, the sim doesn't want to sit at that desk until you remove all the clutter. It is absolutely amazing. You have to literally have them come in and sit down in a chair and then tell them to use the computer. Otherwise, they'll never do it. They get confused. So Sims may be smarter, but clutter can still confuse them. So I would say keep things as clutter free as you can. And if you're going to clutter something, like in the case of this bedroom, you'll notice that I end up putting some table lamps up there. That doesn't tend to interfere with anything. But of course, me being the nut job that I am, I go through and put up sconces right on either side of the bed as well. So you're going to be able to read extremely fine print and probably do very fancy needlework from this bed in the middle of the night, probably. I also like to, when I'm building, I like to build for play. So, and basically what I mean by that is I like to put tall items where they're not going to interfere with the line of sight of the play. So you'll see we're going to get into a bathtub here in a minute when we do the tub shower combo. And we're about to get into that bathroom. And you'll see that when I put that tub shower combo in, it goes against the wall, that far back wall there. And by doing that, I have a clear shot to the bed, I have a clear shot to the toilet, a clear shot to the sink, and I'm not having to flip things around a whole lot. So it makes it a lot easier on the eye, so you're not spinning and spinning and spinning in circles with your camera trying to figure things out. I really do try to leave space for the Sims to do what they need to do around all the furniture. And I do play test. You'll see my test Sim is sitting in there. And yes, I use Lucy for everything. I've got about 4 bazillion copies of Lucy running around. And so Lucy was testing out that chair to make sure that the trash can wasn't interfering with somebody being able to sit in that chair. But that's not going to matter here in just a few minutes because I'll end up moving that table. But you can still sit there. But I did have her go in and test in this little office area because we've got the Strangerville listening station there. And I wanted a desk for the computer, just a plain old computer to go in. So I had to get that tested because that is a very tiny space and I didn't want my Sim getting confused in that particular space. If by some chance you have trouble after you've downloaded this, or if maybe you don't have Strangerville, don't worry about it. The space will just be more open and it just won't download with the listening station involved. But if it is problematic and you do have Strangerville and you want to have the listening station, you can always move the computer out. You can put that on the dining room table. It won't interfere except for, should be just one space, I think. But you'll have plenty of space there to do everything else that you need to. This room would also be really nice for a child's bedroom. A single bed would fit great in here. And I personally would probably use a base game bunk bed in here with the desk underneath so that you still had your space to free up. For fun, your Sims do have a computer. We've got the TV and the bookshelf. And there will eventually be a telescope out on the back deck. So if you get a pop-up while you're playing with that telescope and it says that there is a meteor coming your way, believe it, your Sim will die if they remain out there. So make sure they run on back in so that they can be safe. We should be just adding a few bits and pieces of color to the house. I really did like this furniture. I just felt like it needed to have some different colors. So we're going to adjust this real quick. We're going to change this up to some of the more neutral colors. We're going to put some actual color onto the floor. I really love that carpet that's there. I'm kind of playing around with colors right now just to see what I like, see what I think is going to be good for blending. And for whatever reason, I was really feeling the yellows and the oranges and the greens and some of the blues even. And I wanted to get a little rug under here. I really wanted a round rug. Um, I end up finding one, but the problem is that, and you're about to see it, as I place it down, the rug, it doesn't fit where the center of the table is. So I have to move the table in order for it to fit where I need it to fit, which brings us into the world of flipping the table around, moving it. As I'm moving it, I'm realizing that there's not enough space for the chairs. The trash can's in the way. Everything is just not how I need it to be. So we're just taking a few moments to fix that. And I think I put up a couple of curtains here. And for whatever reason, I opt for 3 curtains here. If you're trying to save some money, you can definitely delete whatever you want to try to make it a little more affordable of a house. But I like the 3 curtains there. And lastly, inside the house, what we're going to do is we're going to add in one rug here in the bedroom. And that is actually a Strangerville rug, and it's one of my favorites out of all of the Sims 4. That one, and then there's a blue and white one that I love just as well. So moving on to the outside of the house, we end up going into more of a yellow feel. So I'll be adding in my railings here, again, going with the white and the yellow. Um, the green was pretty, but I wanted something more vibrant. Plus, this house really reminds me of a house that my mom used to live in. And I wanted to pull from that home because it was always so bright and cheerful, and she loved that place so much. I also wanted to keep the landscaping as minimum as possible, or I should say as minimal as possible. This is such a colorful desert world that keeping lots of plants didn't make a lot of sense to me. So I do plop down a couple of trees in the backyard. There's some wild spurts of grass going to be coming up, and just a few items here and there to kind of give the yard a little bit of kind of a lived in feel, but nothing that's really overdone. Again, trying to watch out for that item count to make sure that our build is not out of whack and causing problems for when you're playing. And we're going to add a few basic final items. We're going to add an awning over the back door here, and we're going to end up adding a chimney. And that should be about it for the build. So with that, folks, another build is done. If you want to play in this house, you can find it on the gallery as Strangerville Shotgun. My gallery ID is babsplayssims. If you enjoyed this build, please like and subscribe. It makes me so happy to see comments. So please do that too. I love to hear from you. And if you like something that I've done or you want to see something special in the future, please let me know. I'm willing to take suggestions. Don't forget to check out that community tab on the YouTube page. And with that, we should be wrapping it up and heading on to our screenshots momentarily. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Now, bye-bye, y'all.